Yo, yo, we live. Yeah, it's Tim's, but it ain't Tuesday. It's Tim's Monday. Special edition Tim's. Shout out to all my subscribers. Shout out to my followers. We live. I know it ain't Tuesday, but we got the special edition Tim's today. Chill. You know what to do as you come in. Tap the screen, share the live. Let's get some more friends in here. Let's get it going. What up, what up, what up? Hope everybody had a good weekend. Kind of weird doing this a little bit on Monday instead of Tuesday. I'm so used to saying Tim's Tuesday, but it's a special edition. Got one of the homies in here with me today. Set up for the interview. What's good, Janine? What up, Crystal? Y'all see my sweater? I'm feeling inspired. Got my inspired sweater on. How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? What's up, Becca? Thanks for tuning in. My little friend, Zeus. It's me. It's your friend. Your best friend. What up? Brother. Sister. What up, what up, what up, what up? Oh, I gotta bring the drop back though. I like when the drop comes in. I like that part right there. Yeah. What up, what up, what up? Toretto Strikes Back. We just getting the vibes right. Got a special guest today. Very special guest. So special that I changed it from Tuesday to Monday so we can make this happen. That's love. I'm here. What up, honeybee? Turn up your volume. My volume's down. Hold up. Thanks for the... Yeah, you know I like to get that feedback. Let me know. How we hear? You hear me good? Might not even be on the... Can you hear me on the mic? Let me turn down the music. Make sure you can hear me. Check 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Does it sound like it's coming out the mic? I want to make sure. Here to support. Okay, here to support Big Lou. That's what's up. Let's get it. DJ Big Lou 2G. Tap in, tap in. Share the live, share the live. Tap the screen. While we get all our people in here, want to make sure that y'all know about my link tree so you can find my YouTube and my Instagram link in there. So y'all go subscribe and follow me on Instagram as well. Also, if you want to help support, the Cash App and my Amazon wishlist is in there as well. So make sure you tap into that. Just keep tapping the screen. We're going to get started in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And we getting started. Somebody confirm for me that you hear me like you hear me out of this microphone. I just want to make sure, you know, sometimes we be having technical difficulties. Shout out to the subscribers and the followers. Appreciate you. Okay, cool. Just making sure. Good. We live. Want to make sure, you know when you live, you got to make sure everything is, you know, good. All right. Let me turn this thing down. Do a quick little intro for my guest today. Some of y'all may know him. Some of y'all may not know him. Maybe you caught one of his lives and heard his music. Maybe you've been on live with him and you got to hear his amazing sarcasm and unique way of explaining things, which is always my favorite. Today's episode is a special edition because we do normally do this on Tuesday, but today we're doing this on Monday for my boy, my big homie. You got to call him big because I'm only 5'8", and you know the boy's tall, but we're gonna talk about that too. Give it up For my boy, I'm gonna bring him back. I'm gonna bring him in. DJ Big Lou, 2 G's coming on. You know, I had to have it ready for you. Like,
all right, I see you.
what's good,
What's
bro?
up, everybody? How y'all doing? How am I sounding? Are we sounding good? We
You
good?
sounding good. You sounding good.
Bet.
Give the people a good 1 2 1 2. Make sure that the levels is right.
Mic check one
Mike,
two
there you
1 2.
go.
Mic
Yeah,
check
yeah.
1 2 1 2. What's
Hey,
good, everybody?
let's go. What's up, bro?
First of all, how you doing?
I'm all right, man. You know, it was
All
funny because
right.
I had to
Tell me.
I had to do like a quick sound check on some yo. Get my. I felt like it was weird because it wasn't it wasn't Tuesday. That's why I'm like trying to get the Mondays
First
off
of
of
all,
me. You know what I'm saying?
first of all, this is a special edition
It's a special. It is a special
where you
edition.
had to change the dates.
That's
You
right.
can't
That's
just
right.
be
You
coming
right.
in there. I'm all right.
It's
Nah,
doing
we're not
good.
doing that today.
Okay, we gotta shake it off. Let's shake it off.
Yeah, shake
Yeah.
the Mondays off.
You got yeah. That's what it is. It's Monday. You know that's why I can't really do too much on Monday. Not that I'm like I don't hate Mondays, but I'm definitely one of those like I gotta warm up to the week. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Turn your mic up a little bit.
up a little more. Let me see.
Yeah,
Check 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
there
now?
you go. There you
Better.
go. What's up, everybody?
Trying to get that see if I go too loud, sometimes I start doing the ASMR voice. So I'm gonna try to find that right balance right now.
Bring it down just a smidge.
Smidge?
Like
Yeah.
one.
Give me the you know, when we do a sound check, like right there. The levels is good. The levels is good. How about
Go
now?
ahead. You good.
Good there? All right, bet.
You
Put
good.
this on. Maybe I hear myself better that way. Yeah. So what's up, Lou? How you feeling? How you feeling?
Chilling, man. I'm
You asked
good.
me, I gotta ask you how you feeling. You almost switched the whole
I'm
interview into you interviewing me just now.
I'm great. It's Monday.
It's Monday.
It's a special edition.
Special edition TIMS Monday.
Yeah.
I,
I
I
wish I had
actually
a pair of Tims that I could wear, but I don't.
we should have did that, like,
I should have.
especially this, like, you know, the jersey, dang,
I
man.
right.
Why did you think about that
Right.
sooner? Could have had like at least the Tims on the back shelf right here. Like
I
put it
mean
on the
that
shelf.
would have been nice.
All right,
That
so
would
you
have
already
been
know
nice.
the first question I always ask whenever we bring somebody in is what brought you to TikTok? So there's been a bunch of platforms, obviously, but what brought you to TikTok?
So my story of getting here is kind of a different one. I never wanted to be on TikTok.
You
That
was
was
against
when it
it?
first started and it became popular. It just, of course, all we would see is the, people doing their little dances and all that. That was the big thing.
Yep.
And for me, I was just like, nah, I'm good, you know. And then when I may be forecasting the interview, but I actually went viral
Okay.
before I moved to LA. And someone took that video and turned it into a DJ PSA.
Or like
So
one of your sets, like while you were DJing?
something happened, and I mean we can get to it, but something happened that I ended up going viral. And it was during a set. It was during the DJ set, and this other DJ took the video and, like I said, turned it into a PSA and posted it on here. And everyone's telling me, hey, you need to see this video. Your video's on TikTok. So I ended up finding the guy. Thank you for the gifts, everybody. I really do appreciate you guys being here, by the way. I ended up finding the guy, and I didn't have an account. So I wanted to get credit. So I had to make an account.
Okay. So
So
where
one
was the
time,
video originally posted at?
it was originally posted on Facebook.
Oh wow, so you jacked it from your Facebook page?
So I posted on Facebook, and then I also posted it on Instagram.
Now
And
I'm wondering
then
because I actually have a question that I wanted to ask you, but now I'm wondering if it's that video. I I do my homework
maybe,
before I meet, like do the interview. So I always go through everybody that I'm gonna meet with to get to know their content and things like that. So I
right.
stumbled across a video, and I was gonna
Uh-huh.
ask you. I have a question written down that says, "Do you know DJ Karen?" Was my question. So is the DJ Karen video
That's the
the
video.
video? Oh, now you
Yeah,
got to
that's
tell
the
now
video.
now you got to tell the story of DJ Karen because I had a
Okay.
question about that. So I'm glad that that's
I'm
like how
surprised
we're
you even
starting this off.
found that.
Nah,
I'm surprised
I'm
you
telling you, I was
found that.
scrolling and I'm like, oh, okay, so mostly does this, and then I'm like, what's that? That kind of looks different. Let me click on that, and I'm like, oh, what is this? I'm like, if
Yeah,
y'all never seen it,
that's like that's
you're
like
gonna have to go
5 years
watch it.
old.
Yeah, yeah, it's 5 years old.
So
Yeah, tell
what
the
ended
story
up
behind
happening
that because that
was,
that joint is funny.
so I used to live in Houston, right? And I made the decision I'm going to move out to LA. And my very last gig before I left, I was covering. My boy asked me to cover for him at this bar, which was at a predominantly Caucasian area. So I get there and I'm emotionally messed up because I
Mm,
know that I'm about to leave, and I it's funny, I never called Houston my home, but it did when I left. I realized that it was home for a while,
mm.
and I had to leave. I was leaving everyone behind, and it was sad. I was all up in my. I was very emotional. So this one lady comes up to me beginning of the night, and
Damn, it's in the beginning of the night too. Like,
beginning of the night, and she's like, "So what are we just doing the decades here? Because what's up, everybody? Because I'm just I'm going from the '70s to the '80s to the '90s. I'm just warming up the night. I'm not
right?
the bangers don't come until
Yeah,
midnight.
yeah.
So I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, can you play some '90s music? I'm like, well, what specifically? And she was just like, I don't know. You're the DJ. I'm like, that doesn't help me at all. I
But let
said,
me work.
when you figure it out, you let me know. So about 30 minutes later, she sends the bartender to me with a napkin with a list of songs,
Not just one request. She got a whole playlist.
an entire playlist.
Yo,
And I'm just like, again,
DJ
I,
Karen.
I I'm in. I don't. I'm too I'm so deep in an emotional state that I don't even give a hell or give a fuck. Excuse my language, but we all know
Yeah,
that we can
yeah,
curse on here,
yeah.
so
You
I'm
could
just
do
gonna
that.
be whatever about it. I don't really give a fuck what she has to say. I'm just gonna do me. So I was texting with a friend of mine, and just really thinking about the gravity of the move that I'm making. And she comes back to me and she's like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And she's like, "Because the music hasn't gotten better since we've
Oh
spoken."
my God, nah. She's
So
she's
there was a
drilling
tip
you.
jar. There was a tip jar. So I put it in her face. Here you go. And she's like, "I would tip you if you were a better DJ." And I said, see, now you're being rude.
She's building
You
up
know,
too.
I was going to try to play at least a song that was on this ridiculous list that you gave me. But now that you're coming up again, there's no need for me to play anything that you're saying because you're just being rude.
Mm.
And she just kept on and on and on. Now, normally, if you're a DJ in here listening to this, do not do this. But I was like, I don't give a fuck mode. So I said, okay, if you know so much how to DJ, get up here and show me. Show me. Now, the song that I was playing, if you watch the video, it was Fat Joe.
Yeah, it was a Fat Joe song. I know it was a Fat Joe song for sure.
Yeah,
What song?
it was one of his more contemporary songs. It wasn't like a lean back. It was kind of
Yeah, it
around
was like
along
a like
those
a like
realms.
a album cut. Like it wasn't like a.
No, it was a
It
hit,
was
but
a that was a hit.
it wasn't like a ghetto anthem. It was just it was a more contemporary song.
Okay.
So I knew the song was finishing. I said, "Go ahead, show me."
Mm.
And all
Put
I
her in
did
that
was I went live.
situation. Oh,
I let her get up, and I just went live. And that's it. And I called the bouncer over and said, "Come watch this." And I just went live. And no tags, no caption, no nothing. Okay. Of course, she had no idea what to do. So she's just in the video. If you watch it, she's just sitting there complaining, and the music stops.
yeah. You
Okay.
and in there though, that you do kind of be like, it's gonna end and it's gonna be on you. Like it's gonna happen. Like you're warning her about
So
it too.
so the actual manager, was not there that night. So what ended up happening was that's funny, Mac. So what ended up happening was I let it go. So the bartender came over and she's like, "Oh, you're ruining the night. You're messing up the music." And she's like, "Well,
She's
does
saying that to
anybody
you or
have?"
to her? She's saying that to you or to
She's
to the
saying to the
lady.
lady,
Oh
to the
wow.
lady. And she's like, you're ruining the night. I have people that are here. It's not about you. Blah
Oh,
blah
I,
blah
I
blah
did
blah. And
hear
she's like,
somebody hear somebody say you're messing up the business or something like that,
right.
like in the video.
And that was the manager. Now, so finally it gets to the point where it says, okay, let me do my job, and the video ends. All right. So, in a normal establishment, when that happens, that person who is causing the ruckus would immediately get Jazzy Jeff out of the space.
Yeah, not Karen.
Well,
Karen never gets Jazzy Jeff.
since I was in a predominantly Caucasian space,
Mm.
of course that did not happen.
No, 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 no.
And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. 20 minutes later, I see her walk out. And at the end of the night, I asked the bartender, I said, so what happened? And she's like, well, she just sat there and just kept bitching about the music until I got tired of it and I kicked her out. And I'm like, oh, I'm surprised you didn't throw her out the moment she
For
pulled that
real.
stunt. So the video was posted, I want to say 11 p.m. Central, so that was midnight. When I got done at 2 o'clock in the morning, the video already had 3,000 views.
Mm.
Already. No captions, no nothing. It was just the live.
Oh, on your
I'm like,
own
all
page
right,
on Facebook still, the one your
on my own
original
page.
post. Okay, okay, okay.
My own page. So then, when I got home, I posted it on Instagram, and I posted a backup, like me explaining what happened.
Okay.
I wake up the next morning, and it already had 120 K views,
Whoa.
and my phone was blowing up.
That's
I
wild.
was like, "Oh shit!"
It'd be the negative
Never.
stuff too, right? It'd be the negative things
So it was
that go
both.
viral.
It was both. I with the feedback that I got, some people were giving me a positive feedback. They're like, "Oh my God, I've always wanted to do that." And then of course you had the others was like, "Well, I would never let a situation go to get to that level where someone is." And I'm just like, I see both sides,
Right.
right? Professionally speaking, that is not the way to go,
Right.
right? But when you're in that mode and in that moment where you just don't give a fuck
Yep. And you were
because the
you
person is being
basically was like the
disrespectful,
right timing, like for
right?
you, like right situation, right time. You called me on the right day. Like otherwise, normally you
Right.
might just be like, yo, no request. Like it is what it is, and keep going. But she caught
Right.
you on that day.
And normally I never allow things to escalate to that level.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was just right time, right day.
Hmm.
You call me on the right one, lady. And and the crazy thing is I went the next day, I went to go say goodbye to some DJs who I really admired in Houston. And I went to this bar and I was saying goodbye to everybody. And as soon as I walked in, the DJs who I admire, they all got up and started doing the "We're Not Worthy." They were just like, "Yo, I've been wanting to do
They
that for
saw they
20
saw the
years.
video.
Been wanting to do that for 20 years. I can't believe you had the balls to do it."
Yeah.
And
Had you the
yeah, and
spot that you were DJing in? Is that a spot that you regularly DJ'd at?
no,
Oh,
that
okay.
was only my second or third time playing there. Because, like I said, I was covering for my boy. And
Okay.
as soon as it happened, I texted him immediately. I said, "Here, this is what happened. Here's the video. So you have everything. So you see. I'm not trying
Right.
to fuck with your gig. This is your job. Here, so you know." Right? And he was like, "Nah, you good." And then because like I said, I the place was a Caucasian space
Right.
where obviously I am not. So he already knows what to play for that
That.
type of
Yeah.
venue. Where me, I'm coming in and I'm just like, okay, well, let me try to
Yeah, that's true. When you go to a spot, when you
appease.
go to a spot that there's like a regular DJ, you tend to expect to hear that same music that you always hear
Right,
because that's the regular DJ. But people don't understand that
right,
not everybody DJs the same. Like, come on, be real.
right.
That's
And
pretty
before we
crazy.
continue, once again, I just want like to say thank you for everyone who's here. Thank you for all the gifts. I really do appreciate that. All
Yeah,
right,
I
so
see a lot of new faces. So I know for a fact they coming to see Big Lou in here. So we appreciate you guys stopping in and sharing out the lives. I seen a couple
yes,
shares. I seen the gifts coming in. So thank you everybody for that. So you already kind of jumps a little bit to the story sort of for me because I always like to hear the like I know a lot of people may know also you shout out in during your sets that you're from Jersey, um,
born and
and
raised.
and I almost forgot that you did do some time in some time in Houston, but what
Yeah.
made you go from Jersey to Houston? Is that the jump? Like, did you go from Jersey to Houston, or was there any other stops in between?
So okay, That's a very long story, so I'm going to try to simplify it as
Okay. Yeah,
quickly
yeah,
as
yeah.
possible. That is born and raised in Jersey. I lived in Georgia for a year when I was a kid. Went back to Jersey, and after that, my parents are split up when I was a kid, and my
Okay.
mom was living in Oklahoma. So I went to live with her for a couple of years, and it was literally going from the city that doesn't sleep to the city that's never awake.
Mm,
And I was like, I gotta get the
yeah.
hell out of here.
I could not
I gotta get.
imagine. So so bouncing, were you going back like every year you were traveling back and forth, or was it like every
No,
like
I
couple
was.
years?
It was. I was. As my life in Jersey was done.
Oh wow.
Right. So this was '02. So I lived in Oklahoma for '02 till '05.
Okay.
Then I had friends that I grew up with in Jersey who I've known since elementary school, who were living in Houston, and I went down there to go visit, and it just I knew so many people there ridiculously because their cousins who I knew they already moved down. So I'm like, oh okay, I have a family. I have a
Okay.
family here. Let me go ahead and make the jump. So I told my mother, we're moving to Houston. We're getting out of here. We're moving to
Oh,
Houston.
mom left too.
Mom left too,
Oh, that's what's up.
and we moved down to Houston, and I was there for 13 years.
Whoa.
And
Oh,
then
I thought Houston was like a just like a couple years type of thing. 13.
no,
That's a big part of your life.
yeah, yeah,
So okay,
big, big,
so
big part.
Houston, it sounds like now then is that where you got introduced to DJing? Is in Houston?
So that's where I started DJing.
Okay.
Of course, I was introduced. I mean, I grew up a hip hop head, so I knew all about DJing. And the crazy thing is, when I was a little kid, I hated listening to mix shows. Like Funk Flex used to annoy the shit out of me.
That still annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah, like he was good. Like I would listen to anyone that's from the East Coast know that Hot 97, especially in the 90s, was the radio station that everyone listened
Yeah,
to.
it's
There was
dominated
nobody
everywhere.
else.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I mean there was some other heads, other like BLS and Kiss like in the early
Yeah, but you
90s,
want
but
hip hop, it was Hot 97.
it was Hot 97.
Yeah.
So every night they would do the Hot 5 at 9, which I would listen to, and I I know a lot of people 35 and up can attest to this. We used to make mixtapes off of the radio,
Recording,
hit the
tape.
record.
Yep.
As soon as they start talking shit, gotta stop it. So
That was
I
that was
did
the bad
that.
thing about Flex too is he broke all the new music. He broke it, but you only got it in like 20-second clips. So like it was like, all right, he gonna
Right.
talk and then he gonna drop 10 bombs and then he gonna come back and he's gonna drop 10 more and then you're like, oh come on, Flex, play
Well,
the
see,
song.
that's the thing. As soon as he would start the mix show, that's when I would stop.
Oh, okay.
I'd be like, all right, I'm out of here because I all the bombs and the spinning it back and all that
Yep,
shit. It
yep.
was annoying. It was annoying as fuck. So fast forward, I want to say maybe 10 years, and I became friends. Hey, Cafe, what's up? So I
What up? What
became
up? What up?
friends, and she her dude at the time was a DJ. So it took me about 3 years of nagging him to teach me. I was his MC at the after hours spot. I was the dude on the mic, hyping up the crowd for him at his gigs, and we were at the club. It was about 11:30, so it's right before prime time.
Mm.
And he goes to me, "You ready?" I'm like, "Ready for what?" "You're about to DJ right now." I'm like, "I've never even touched. What are you talking about? I've never touched any. I've never even touched any equipment. You want me to DJ right now?" He's like, "Yeah." So my first time ever touching equipment was at a gig,
Wow. Yeah,
literally
my
in the club.
my experience wasn't like that. I had to like build it up, plug it in, see a couple things, and then it was. I said this the other day on my live on Friday. It was just the DJ that was teaching me at the time was just like, "Yeah, I'll be right back." He just walked off, and I'm like staring at it, and I knew from what he explained to me already the way the songs were. There wasn't a song queued up, and it was definitely within the last 2 minutes of the song, and I'm like, I realized this was a setup. Like he's doing this on purpose. I got to
Hmm.
do something. At least you had a little bit of a warning, but you never touched anything. So we're like both of us are at a
No,
disadvantage in
there
different
was there
ways.
was no
Like
warning.
yeah, there was like
There was no
right
warning.
now
It's
it's
like we're going
happening.
right now, right, like right now. Okay. And in that quick moment, he's like, "Okay, watch this lines, watch this, put this, and you're gonna mix here. You're gonna move this, and you're gonna do this." And I'm just like, "Huh? Wait, what? Huh? What?" He's
So
like, I'm
so,
not leaving.
but were you watching him and all the other times that you saw him, like you were there? Were you like trying to learn from the sidelines, or not even really doing
Yes
that?
and no. Like I would kind of pay attention to what he was doing, but I didn't really put that much effort into paying attention. My job was I was too busy watching the crowd and trying to find spaces to where I can speak, where I'm not overpowering the music. That's the thing that I
Okay.
hate the
Yeah, because you were
most.
focusing on emceeing.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm trying to hype the people up and trying to insinuate the music instead of talking over the music.
Right.
So that's a thing that a lot of MCs till this day they don't do very well.
Yeah.
They're just they're overclashing. They're fighting the music instead of you're a team. You're supposed to work with the music.
Right. Yep. Yep.
You find
So.
your spaces to speak,
Yep.
not overpower it. But yeah,
So I think when I think about like a DJ getting started, I always think of like, all right, so and this is like in anything, you're kind of like an apprentice for a little while, and then you're building your different tools up. Like for me, before the first time I ever DJ'd, I used to go with one of my uncles. He DJ'd, and sometimes I would go to hook up the equipment, like carry the records or whatever, things like that. So, well, it was records at first, and then within a few years, it was records were gone. He was with burning CDs, and it was CDs everywhere we went. But I do remember not really wanting to do music at that point as a DJ at all, but I was really into production. So when he was DJing though, I would always be watching how he was putting like his live playlist together, like what songs he was playing that went with this and that genre that isn't really this genre, but he's making it blend and like mixing it together. So like I started learning and understanding music from that perspective. So for
right.
you, what led you to like, all right, so you finally get on a set, he lets you rock. How did it go? Like what was the outcome of that? Like how long did he actually let you go before he was like, all right, get out of here? Or like did he just let you go?
Maybe I want to say about 20 minutes.
Okay, so you wasn't doing horrible then. You must have been doing
Yeah,
something
but
right.
I mean, he was there making sure that I wasn't messing up.
Okay, okay.
You know, and he taught the way he taught me was a very simplified, not backwards ass way of DJing, but it wasn't the right way.
Okay.
And at this point, everything was already now with Serato and the laptops.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
That's
so at this point, it wasn't there was no CDs. Everything is just now we're back to vinyl. Actually, no, that day he used CDJs.
okay.
Which was another way to do it, but there was an actual CD, but there's nothing on it. So
Right.
like even
It
even
was
for an
just a pet
example,
like
this
the circle that looked like a dish kind of thing, like the silver dish
no
thing.
no not even not
Oh,
even.
he didn't even have those.
So this is called a digital vinyl.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I was to actually play this vinyl, all you hear is a tone. It's just a tone, and that tone corresponds with the program. So that's called a digital vinyl system. They had CDs that had the same tone. Okay,
Oh,
and that's literally what it was. But the laptop is what did all the work.
nice.
The
Okay.
laptop is what had all the music, had knew how to manipulate it. You can still do, your scratching, your cutting, your backspins, and everything. I know if I'm losing anybody, just let me know, and I'll kind of
Nah,
try
nah,
to
nah.
simplify it.
Yo, for me, I actually owned a pair. I bought a Serato system like with the records at first when I first started DJing myself, and then I got to the point I'm like, yo, this is too much to carry everywhere. Like, there's got to be a simpler version of this. And then there was a simpler version where it had records, small like record type things that you could they went on top, so you didn't need the actual records, and then it just gave you the feel of a record. So you didn't actually need the needles and all of that stuff anymore. So it made it a little bit lighter, and then eventually I just wasn't doing music like that. I sold everything, but yeah. So I have a little bit of understanding of the last 10 years. Probably I don't. So I know there's a
Right.
whole nother thing out there now
So
that
I
y'all
st- I
use.
still use turntables. I'm still a turntable guy.
Like with the
So
record, like with the needle too, or the newer one that you don't
so
actually need the needle and it still picks up with the record.
this is called phase. This is my needle.
Flip
Okay,
that around. Let me see what that other side looks like. Do that again.
it's a magnet. It's just a magnet.
And that scans
Okay,
the record basically now.
so this is no. This is the needle. Okay, so I'm gonna show you.
Yo, we're all learning something new today. This Lou's
So
taking
see
us
how
to
it sticks?
class. Look at this.
See how it sticks,
Uh-huh.
right? So, hold on. Okay.
Yo, they better cut you
So
a
see
check
how
for
it
this.
sticks? This is the spindle on the turntable.
Okay.
This is essentially a Bluetooth needle. Okay, I
What?
still have needles. I still have
What?
needles, but
Yo, that's a
this
whole new
is
technology. This is
this is
crazy.
the way. This is the way now.
And
If
that
you're
so
gonna
that's
use
that goes onto
turntables,
a regular that goes onto a regular turntable. That little
yeah, just like
circular part
just
goes on the regular
yeah,
centerpiece of. Yo, that's wild.
yeah. It goes on. This is the record. You still have the record,
Yeah.
and it goes right here. This is a magnet,
Yo.
and it goes right here, and then you put it on top of the spindle, and you do what you normally do.
See,
See
they always found a way to keep the original DJ like happy also because I know a lot of DJs when I first started they were like, yo, y'all be doing these CDs things. I'm still bringing my records everywhere, and they want that record feel like they want that they want to feel the grooves on the record and all that.
I still have my
So you still
needles,
have your needles too.
but you don't need them.
Yeah, not when you have
You don't
that. I
need them
mean,
anymore. You
that's
don't. You
wild.
really don't need them.
So why is it Bluetooth? What is that? That syncs with your computer? Bluetooth?
That syncs with the Serato program,
Wow,
and it reads
that's
it.
dope.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had it. No, I'll deal with that later. I wish I had
Somebody,
it. I wish I
she
had it
said
set
the
up to where
amount of
you
things.
can.
She said the amount of things that I'm learning right now.
Oh, and I'm only talking about this much. Really, I
That's
haven't.
just where the music starts. Like
Yeah, this is
it,
just like literally this much. And when they first showed this, they just had it just like how they had it connected to the record, and people were scratching just like this, literally doing this, and you can hear the scratching because it reads the rotation of the record. Because that's what the motor is doing. The motor
wow.
is continuously moving. So it reads it. It reads the rotation. So it's not. It is easier. So people think DJ life is easy. It's not. It's easier than what it used to be
Right. Yeah,
because
you
we
ain't
don't
carrying them
need.
records
We're
everywhere.
not carrying records. Everything's in a laptop now.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other questions you may have
Nah, yeah,
other
no,
than.
we're gonna definitely talk a lot about. I know we gotta. If I mean for the DJ, I one thing I have learned in all the years that I've been around music and DJs is most DJs, music and DJing, it like bleeds over into every part of their life. Like everything in some way, shape, or form kind of connects back to their DJing. So I'm assuming if you're doing, and that's only when you're doing DJing and that's like your passion, you really care about it like that. Like in
Right.
some way, shape, or form, DJing is in every part of your life. So I'm sure we'll touch
Right.
back on some of that as well. But I'm interested to know like what I was saying before too about like the levels of I want to call it like a superpower. Like I really look at DJs like yo, what they have to do and the levels that it takes to get there is what people don't notice. And these are going to be some of the things that I've noticed about DJing. One, having a little bit of experience being around a lot of DJs, is things like knowing how to read a crowd, which is very different than putting together a playlist. So those are two different skills that you learn along the way. Like you talked about MCing. Some DJs can't ever get on the mic. Really good DJs could do both. They could get on the mic as well. What else? Music selection in general. Again, not just a playlist, but like music selection, understanding music, BPMs, like all of these like other things that have to go into being a really good DJ versus just pressing play or mixing songs.
Right.
That's still very different. Scratching is a whole nother level of another
Right.
skill. So I've seen you do all of these things at this point. I've been on your lives. I've been following you for a minute now. But what was the progression for you? Like, was it just that one dude that taught you all of that, or was there like somebody that
No,
kind of like did you keep leveling up with like how did you get there? How did you get to where you are
not
today with this?
not at all. My journey has been so long. I've been a DJ for now over 12 years.
Mm.
When he first showed me the very beginning, I said, okay, I can do this. So I went and I got my first setup. It wasn't even a complete setup. I got my first setup and I started I started doing lives. Now, everybody thinks that this live thing that we do now is new. I've been doing sets on Facebook 10 plus years.
That's what I was about to say. So you started on Facebook because you like we just said at the
Right.
beginning is
But even
TikTok is
before
fairly new.
that, even before that, there was a website. It's still open called Cherry Tap, and Cherry Tap has chat rooms. and they call them
Never
lounges.
heard of it. Now you teaching me something I never heard of. Share.
Right, and this is like oh, and it's still available to this day. And they have each lounge would have their own radio station,
Okay.
and you would log on to it, and you would be the one broadcasting on that station, and that's where I got my start. So the internet really helped me build my skills, and it's funny because there's a friend of mine who I've known since those days, just recently ended up seeing here on TikTok. And I was like, hey, and she just came in randomly into my life, and I was like, oh shit. Like I haven't seen you. It's been a good 10 years
Yeah,
since the last time I've
she
seen you.
probably looking for the mixes. Like, where's he at now? Trying to find out where you've been at. Like, she probably just thought you
Right.
gave up on DJing.
Maybe, maybe. But
So
yeah,
so
so
wait,
I would
hold on,
stream.
because
Go ahead.
I'm a little confused though. So did you do the Facebook thing before that, or that was before Facebook?
That was before Facebook.
Oh wow. So this
So
okay. So
then
this is
so then I would start doing sets on Facebook. And then when COVID hit, then it was everyone tried to jump on Instagram, right? And I would try to do things on Instagram here and there, but you would get kicked off immediately
because of music, right?
because of the music.
Right.
So
Okay.
then that's when, now we're talking 2020. That's when everyone jumped on Twitch. And the Twitch was the place. And it still is. It still is.
But
But
Twitch
from
initially was for gaming, like streaming
for
gaming, really,
gamers,
right? And then a lot of
yes.
people started because of I think COVID. A lot of people started to find ways to do other content on Twitch aside from gaming.
Yes.
So DJing was
Yes.
definitely one of those things that people started
Big
using.
ones.
Yeah.
And any big name DJ that you know that you can name streamed on Twitch, especially during COVID.
Fire.
What's one of the guys that's considered one of the godfathers of DJing, Jazzy Jeff, he streams several times a week.
Oh, so he still be doing sets? Like,
Yeah,
oh
several
snap.
times a week. Because there is money in streaming. There really is.
Now there's
And
a lot of people. Even like I saw recently a rapper, T Grizzly. You know who that is?
okay,
T Grizzly, right? Yeah,
I've
T
heard of
Grizzly.
him.
Yo, on Twitch. He makes like 50,000 a week off of Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, you got to build. You had to spend a lot of time. So for me, Twitch wasn't working. I wasn't growing.
Okay.
The thing about Twitch that I'm not a fan of, it's just you, right? And it's you, and it's just you, and all you see is the chat room. Now, just like how you have your own emotes, Twitch has their own emotes,
Okay.
right? So each streamer has their emotes, and the chat would just literally just be emotes, and it really wouldn't mean anything. There's interaction, but there's no
Yeah,
real
you don't really
interaction,
know what's going on. Like, yeah,
right?
I see what you're saying.
So So when I came on here and I saw that you can actually have other people on, I was like, "Oh, this is perfect." Now I'm getting that feedback, that immediate feedback, kind of like a gig.
Right. Oh,
There's
okay. So now it makes sense why you like to have people in the boxes is which I think you might have said that, but now it makes sense because of the backstory to it. Why when you do it in your lives you have that specifically. Okay, see, we're painting
so
a picture here. I like it.
there's multiple reasons. There's multiple reasons. Number one, number one, the biggest thing is energy, right? Music literally is an exchange of energy.
Right. Yeah.
So when you're
For sure.
playing for people, you're giving your energy and they're giving it right back to you. That what moves me. So I always say every Thursday night when I'm streaming and I'm doing my sets, my lives are nothing without you.
Right.
The people that are on the cams, on the boxes, they are the life.
Which
I'm
now
just I'm
now that
just the
means so
one.
much more of like for those who have been in the lives before and understand that have been there when Lou's rocking, like he really be like the energy that comes from those boxes, like you could see it in the live when he starts to like turn up on the music. You could see it in the boxes too. Like the people are turning up, so like Lou's energy and the music gets up too. So again, I like the way this is really painting a picture of and getting a better understanding. When you come to one of Lou's lives, you get to really understand why things move the way they do. So, okay, my bad. I didn't
Yeah.
mean to cut you off though,
It's
but it's
no, no,
coming
no,
together
no
for me. I like
worries.
it. I like the way you're painting the picture
Yeah.
right now.
It
I like
makes
that.
it I've tried, and you'll see a lot of DJs who have a good following, a great following. It'll just be them. And that's cool if it works for them, but that doesn't work for me.
So I got a question about that because I was watching this DJ. I can't remember his name right now, but I was watching the DJ and I was thinking to myself because he didn't
Oh
have
shit.
with the Galaxy. Who said
Thank you,
that?
Becca. Thank you. Thank you
Becca,
everybody for all
show
the
him
gifts.
love.
Thank you. I'm super appreciative. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
No, my
Continue,
bad.
Zeus.
No, that always that we got to stop that. I got the Galaxy vibe in the background. Love it. No, but like
I'm on a Galaxy phone.
I was, I was watching his live and I was thinking to myself like, I wonder when they're not really getting an interaction like that, are they just like kind of playing for themselves, like what they want to hear, or they have an idea of I'm gonna do a set that's like retro, or I'm gonna do a set that's hip hop only. Like because I do understand, like you just said, like when you're playing for a crowd, even for the comments, maybe you have that feedback, and that's so for me, one of my things is why I'm doing it like this. The podcast type of situation is it's one thing. I initially wanted to do a podcast, but the one thing that I need is energy as well. So like, and I even did YouTube for a little while, and doing posting videos for me was like, this is boring. Like just talking into the camera is whack. Like I wanted feedback. I wanted people to be able to comment and be able to talk back and forth. So this is why for me I feel so comfortable doing this versus
Right.
something like that. So I definitely could agree and get your point on that. So all right, so go ahead. So you're moving over to TikTok. You're getting the vibes. Pick it up from
And
there.
getting the vibes, it's been great. It's been great. The reach has been so much better for
Yeah.
me. I'm finding the people who truly enjoy my style of DJing. I feel like I have a very unique style,
Right.
and I'm finding those who just enjoy it.
So let's
You
talk
know.
since you brought that up, and that is one of my questions. You have a very unique style of DJing, but what created like what pieces came together to form that style of DJing? And maybe first even tell what is that style for those who haven't heard your sets or something like that. Like
So
what would that be?
for those who have never been to my lives, I play music. I play popular music in ways that you've never heard before. So
Facts.
the artist. So let's just say Zeus, you are the artist, right? And you made a song, and the song has been out 20 years, and every single person on earth has heard that song over 20 million times.
So
They
I'm
know it
Michael Jackson right
front,
now.
right? They know it frontwards, backwards, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. Well, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna flip it. I'll put a different beat to it. I'll change the genre completely. You'll still know the song. You'll know the words, and it's still the same, but it's going to be played in a way that's going to open your mind to different genres, to different sounds, to something just completely different than the norm.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear music all the time. We all listen to radio. We all have Spotify, and it's the same thing over and over and over again. It's like how many times can you listen to, for an example, Thriller? How many times can you listen to Thriller in your life? We've all heard the song 40 billion
I
times.
was gonna say I know I heard
Like,
it so many times.
don't you
I'm
get
like,
tired of hearing it the same exact way over and
yeah,
over
here,
and over and
but
over
but
again?
that's what I'm saying. So how did you know like that was gonna be your thing? Because like I'm just thinking about me and other DJs that I've heard again, like they want to please the crowd in that way that they want to play songs that they know and they're familiar with, but you're not just doing that. Like you're doing it
One
and
second.
putting a
I,
twist
I'm
to it.
I'm I'm sorry, Zeus. I'm sorry,
Nah,
Zeus.
nah, nah,
Sammy,
nah.
thank you so much for the
We
galaxy.
got another
Once
galaxy
again,
out here. Let's go.
thank you guys. Thank you all. Appreciate
Let's
you,
go,
each and
Sammy.
every one of you.
For sure.
Wow.
Sammy
Thank
said,
you.
"Whoa, come on now, come on with it."
Yeah.
No
Whoa.
doubt. So,
So
so, so yeah. So tell me about that. Like, how, what made you decide like this is the way? Like, did you hear a blend or a remix that you were just like, yo, I want to do that?
so that's how that actually started for me. I always back in the day, I would always say, okay, what what songs would work well with something else? How can I make it different?
Mm,
And one of the big things for me was Diddy would make remixes
yeah.
back in the 90s. JD would make remixes back in the 90s. And it's just like, yo, this shit is fire. or even just to flip it, how there were dance remixes to everything.
Yeah.
Some were great, some were not so good, but they were a dance or
Yeah.
Euro pop
So
remix
so
to everything.
I don't know if you were still in Jersey or like I'm sure those remixes went everywhere, but up here like 103.5 the
KTU.
KTU KTU always played like they would flip like the Deborah Cox like a slow song that was
Yeah,
like very R&B ish,
yeah.
and then you would hear it on there like
Emotional.
there's a and it's like a
How
very
did you
like
get here?
yeah that's the one I'm thinking of like that song got like I want to say that song was probably like I've heard that song the remix version of it more than I heard the R&B version.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming like that's the type of stuff that maybe you were hearing like, yo, this is crazy how they did it, like put these type of
Right.
remixes. Okay, so
And another one that was it was bigger with the dance remix than the original was Waiting for Tonight, J Lo. That dance remix was so much bigger and
that
hit
is
so
yeah.
much harder than the original did.
Th-
So I
Did
was
the
so
artist? Did the
so
artist? Were the artists involved in that? Where there's is are those like remixes done by DJs? I'm gonna
they're
have to look into
usually
that
done
now.
by either DJs or producers.
Okay.
But yeah, so I would hear those and I'm just like, man, I prefer this version better. Let's switch this up. So when I started, yeah, I would have the originals and I would play, oh my God, another one.
And another
Wow.
one.
Becca, wow, thank you.
Yo,
Truly, thank you.
on my screen that they're not even going up anymore. It's like frozen at the same number. Like they broke it. They broke the count
They
on my
broke it. I
side.
think that one I think that one was for you,
Oh, was
possibly.
it? Oh no, because
I
the
think
last two
so.
I didn't even see it go up. So I don't. I'm like, thank you, Becca. But I was like, damn, they broke the count over here.
Man, either way, I'm
Either way,
I'm greatly
appreciate it.
appreciative. So yeah, so I would play, with the originals and it would start, and then as I would start digging for music, I would find these remixes, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to play this one now. I can't wait to play that one now to switch it up to see the crowd's reaction
Yeah,
because it's like, oh, I know this, but I don't know this,
yeah, yeah.
and
I know there's been a couple times that I'm like, what is this? Like this sounds familiar. And then all of a sudden the lyrics start. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Like, how did you even do that? Like some of them that just are completely off the wall. Like two different,
yeah.
like you said before, two different genres that you wouldn't normally hear together. So that's fire.
Yeah, and that was the big thing for me. And now, I would always before COVID I was half and half. I always loved remixes, but just to appease the crowd, I would throw in some originals and I would go half and half.
Okay.
Once COVID hit, I went 1,000,000% all remixes. You know,
So some of the remixes you play are your own, like you made them, and then are there also some that you get? I don't know. I don't
so
know how those
let
types
me
of songs are made like that. Like,
so
'cause you have
let
so
me
many
back
different ones. Like, I feel like that would be a lot of work for you to have made all of them.
let me go back. Let me go
Okay.
back. So before I started DJing, years before I started DJing, I dabbled in trying to make my own remixes. I was never good at it. There's still a couple that I will play till this day, but for the most part, I would find
But
I
like
would
blends, right? Like that type of remix,
yeah,
or
I would
like
make my
we're
I
like
would
on
make
some like
blends.
producer, like with some musical production type gear and all
I
that.
would try. I would try, but and I still have them. I still have them. I still listen to them every now and then, but they weren't.
So I
I
mean,
used to send them
but
out.
12 years later, I mean, you probably got skills that, like, you ever do it on? Maybe you just need the right, like, using your turntable tools rather than an actual production setup.
So this is what I would do, depending on how much time that we have. Maybe at the end, I may do a short blend set just to see to you that way you guys can see what I mean. But no, making my own wasn't a priority. It's just like when you find that new song, oh my goodness, here's another one.
And
Evelinas,
another one,
thank you so much.
we have to. I
Man,
wish I had
thank you
the
guys, really,
Khaled sample
truly,
right.
thank you.
Like another one. We have to.
Um,
We're gonna
there
do
you go.
that. We're gonna do
There you
that.
go. There you go. So I would try to. It's like when you searching for music and you're digging for music, and you find that gem. You're like, oh, this is fire. Oh, I like this. So it just you just can't wait to play it. Now the crazy thing is, wow. The crazy thing is, the crazy thing is that there's certain songs where literally I have about 15 different remixes for it. Oh
Oh,
shit.
we have 50%. Let's go.
Pring.
Bling 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 bling.
So, but yeah, I just love it. I love it so much. The problem is that it's hard to find the crowds that can appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I feel like it's one of those things like even any genre of music, right? Like country, for instance. Like I could rock with some country, and then there's some that I'll just be like I country isn't my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
but I know a couple country songs. And then there's hip hop heads, and there's for every genre of music. Hey, let's go. Thank you, Becca. For every genre of music, you have fans for that genre, and I feel like your style of DJing is almost like it's a niche kind of thing. But I'm sure
It
you have
is.
like I know you have a strong following of people who rock with the type of music that you play. So yeah, they're out there.
Yeah, it is. It is very different, and I'm still trying to. I'm still building that following. And it is something that's it's not easy. It's not easy finding your following, finding people who truly enjoy the same the same format that you provide. You know, so
That's what happens when sometimes I feel like it's such a challenge to be unique. Like you're so
right,
unique sometimes, like or some people can be so unique that it's almost like it's so risky to be that unique that you have to like go and find like a whole new world basically, like or you're creating a whole new world even.
right.
So yeah, you're definitely very brave to live in the lane where there's very few people. But so I think that's also the blessing part of it is like nobody's doing it the way you're doing it, so it's kind of you're in your own lane. So there's the good and the bad,
Yeah.
I guess.
And I'm starting to find more and more people. I'm a part of a community that can explain this shirts. I know is it showing backwards for everybody?
Yeah, it's
It
backwards
probably
right
is.
now.
Okay, so I don't know if I can change it, but anyways, the way it's pronounced is Miche.
Miche.
This is a community, a collective that I'm a part of, where we showcase everything that's remixed, whether it be art, food, music, of course, and that's what we do.
Hey.
And we have events here in LA where our events you will not hear anything original. Just yesterday we had our first community stream. We have a studio out in here in the LA area, and we had several of DJs come through and we just all played. We just hung out and vibed out and just had a great time. And we are finding people that are like minded, and and it's dope to see and it's dope to come across. And it's just a great feeling to see like
I
okay,
think it's funny. It's funny you're saying that because we've talked before about my goal. One of my goals on TikTok is just to find like-minded individuals, people who just like to create
right,
and in any way, shape, or form, basically just love to create. So I always find that it's when you click with one person that has that similar mindset, how many more doors open up. So that's why I love the idea of like having a community, a group of people who have similar mindsets, because the doors start to become like unlimited. Like there's like
right.
so many different things that come up. So how long has this community that you're referring to been been together, I guess, or like how long ago was
We've
it started?
been we've been going at it. I want to say 2019 is when we started.
Okay.
We were going pretty heavy before COVID, and then of course once COVID hit, everybody had to switch over to streaming platforms. And yeah, we're just we're in a crossroads where we're trying to figure out where we're gonna take this. What are
So
we
do
gonna
they
do
do
with
like
this?
do they? I know you just said they kind of did like their first event. Like, is that something that like because I know in LA, I feel like in LA, at least on TV and movies, it's always big on like community events, like outside, like gatherings and things like that. There's a lot of like a big
Yeah,
community of that in LA.
yeah.
Is that something that you guys are gonna tap into that or
We're
already tapping into?
maybe we're like I said, we're building our own community because
Okay.
we do provide such a niche style that not everyone, general masses, are not in tune with. The
So
general
so does that mean
the
you're bringing that? like the remix world to the masses? Like, is that kind of what the goal would be, or is it just finding more people who like to remix things?
It's it's a mixture of both.
Okay.
It's a mixture of both because as you're trying to find those people, those like-minded individuals who are into the same thing, you're trying to educate people who are not aware, right? And you're trying to bring something different to the table and say, "Hey, this is what we do." And some people are open-minded enough to listen, and of course, you have those where it's like, if it's not the radio,
Oh
I'm not
yeah,
with it.
true.
You have those crowds. Like I've had crowds where I get going and literally the one I would start off with a remix and crowd gone.
Mm,
Because I don't know this. This is outside of what I've heard 45 million times. I can't do it.
right,
I don't like this because it's different. Some people like different. Some people don't.
right.
So you're just trying to maneuver in a way to find those that will
I feel like
appreciate it.
at least from the music that I hear you play now, I feel like that style is very suiting for a lot of spots at least in this area, like Jersey, New York area, because there's so many different diverse clubs and people that show up to these clubs. Like I've been to clubs that I'm in, like the club itself is in a predominantly could be an Indian even community. And then the music is so diverse because you got stuff that's international, you got stuff that's hip hop, but it's hip hop with a twist, or you might have something that's like Middle Eastern with a hip hop. Like there's so many different.
Right.
When you put that many different people in one space, the music has to match the crowd. So I feel like that would be very suiting for at least here. So I don't I've never been to LA, so I don't know if that's the thing. But I know LA
It's
is very
different.
hip hop influenced as well, right?
It is, but it's very different from the East Coast. Now, me being born and raised in Jersey, of course, my style is always going to be an East Coast style. My musical my musical choices are going to be leaning towards an East Coast influence, where my DJ style, my style of actually manipulating the records, is West Coast.
Okay.
There's different DJ styles.
Okay, so
So
now,
for an
because you know what,
example,
we actually, I'm glad you're going there. I don't know if that's where you're about to go already, but I'm gonna say it real quick, and then you could go, because we talked about Jersey, we talked about when you were in Houston for 13 years, but when your music DJing started there, but because just now you just said it that your style is West Coast. So how did you start in Houston? I actually I thought you were gonna say that it was very Southern or like Houston ish or something.
no.
So I want to hear now that
Okay.
how did we get to it being West Coast, like the
So
West Coast style.
there's two when it comes to the actual art of DJing, there's two styles. There's East Coast, which what they'll do is they'll just they'll just start a song immediately. There's no transition. It's just like there's going and going, all of a sudden, boom, another song,
Mm,
right? Whereas West Coast style, they actually blend the songs together. They'll mix the songs together so it's seamless, right? So if you listen to, for an example, I'm going to go back to Funk Flex, right? If you listen to him playing, right, he may throw 50 bombs on the track, but you don't hear another song coming in and then this one goes out. It's just slam, slam, slam. That's the East Coast style. It's
but I
slamming.
mean, like, you mean like without cutting it into it or with the
No,
cuts?
they'll cut into it, but there's no mixing. Like you
Okay,
can't. There's so the way DJing really is supposed to be. It's both. You hear both songs playing at the same time, right? And then one fades out and then it continues. So the music is always continuous. It's not supposed to have an abrupt change, right? There are
okay,
some songs that you can do that with and it makes sense and it sounds good. But usually it's when you're blending the two songs together, it's just like, okay, I hear something else coming in, and then it switches, it transitions from the current song that's playing into the new one that comes in.
got you. Okay, with that,
So
I
yeah,
follow that. So you're saying that those are the two. The West Coast is the blend style is
the
more
blending
adopted there versus
where
the
it's just an abrupt change.
okay. Okay.
So scratching is something that both styles have,
Right.
right? Where it's the but with the West Coast, they're more it's there to insinuate the music. It's
Right.
to help the music. It's to give more to the music, where it's not just brrr, and I'm just gonna go in, you
Okay.
know.
See, I never been to a West Coast party to really be able to even know the difference, and I probably couldn't tell you off the top of my head a West Coast DJ. Like I know this DJ is the
So
West Coast.
I think you're looking at it. I think you're looking at it from not from the space that I'm trying to explain it. So a West Coast party is completely different than the West Coast style of DJing,
Okay,
right?
so the
I'm
DJs that are
I'm
at a West Coast, like a West Coast DJ, just because they're a West Coast DJ doesn't mean they're using that style. Is that
right,
right? Okay, okay, okay. Got
right.
it, got it, got it. I'm
So
with you now.
the majority of the DJs in the country will mix the West Coast way,
Okay.
right? Where they're blending, is mixing, right? The majority of the country, where usually the East Coast guys are just slam, slam, slam. Every track is slam. There's no, there's nothing, there's no continuity between the songs where it's just like, okay, this is sound together. I'm just gonna throw it in. That's what I mean.
Okay.
The music is what would
I
say.
almost need an example of the difference because I feel like what I'm used to hearing in like don't play nothing now. But I don't know if you look like you're about to do something. Don't do
I
it
was like,
now.
oh, okay,
Don't do it
you
now.
want
No,
to?
no, because if anything, we'll save it to the end, and then it's a part when I upload to YouTube, I could probably cut so that I don't have no copyright issues later. But I'm just thinking of like the parties or DJs that I that's and you know what now it might have just clicked when I hear a DJ that doesn't do what you're explaining because I think we had this conversation when they don't blend it, when you don't hear the transitions be a little bit more of a smooth transition, I immediately think that DJ can't DJ.
Right.
Like if it's literally or not even a cut in between. Like sometimes it'll just be like a sound effects or something, and then slam the other song is in. That immediately tells me the DJ can't DJ. Like I
There
feel
are
that way.
some,
That's the way I feel about it. Like
right,
so, I
and
don't
there
know
are
if that's
some
what you're
who,
referring to.
well, there's some who really can't, and they use that as a way to kind of mask the fact that they can't. But yes, that's also part of it. But like, again, a great East Coast DJ will know how to do that the right way.
Okay.
I
So
mean, you
okay,
have the Kid
I'm following now.
Capri's, you have the Executioners. That's still till this day, and even something crazy that a lot of people may not know. But DJ Khaled used to be a real DJ.
Yeah, no, and I know he used to be like a radio DJ in Miami,
Yeah,
right? Like he was like a real live DJ.
I've seen videos of him getting down for real. The shit that he does now, I don't know what happened, but he used to be.
He's getting that
I've
money
seen him
now.
get
That's
down,
what it
and I'm just
is.
like, oh, he really
Nah,
know his
he's just
shit.
he's a producer DJ now. Like he's more in the studio,
He's
not
not
really
even more of a
getting.
producer. He's like he's kind of like a I kind of can consider him like kind of like a movie maker, where he'll help put the songs
Yeah,
together,
that's what
but he
Diddy is
doesn't
now. Like Diddy now is more that way than Diddy ain't really in
the
the.
actual producer.
Yeah, Diddy ain't not anymore. He used to be. Now he's more like, all right, bring that person, bring that guitarist, bring that drummer. All right, that sounds good. All right, and action. They play and
Yeah,
they got a hit. Like Khaled is definitely
yeah,
there now. Yeah, he
yeah.
definitely has. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like for you, I feel like the fact that you have that skill of like blending different genres and things like that, like you're creating a genre of DJing or even music at this point that there is a internationally, maybe even not so much, let's say LA, throughout the nation, the country, then going above and beyond to other countries, that people who love that style, that if you were putting out I don't know if remixes are original. Like a remix can be an original remix, right? But it's not the original song. And I'm already
Right.
thinking about right now the most recent one about to catch another flight. I heard that I was looking for the one that's everywhere right now the other day, and then I actually came across the original song, and I'm like, this isn't it. And that was the original. it is a sampled beat. I think
It's a sample.
it is a
Yes.
sample, but it's not the sample
It's
that is out right now, like the remix.
it's Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
Dun,
Shit. It's one.
dun, dun. Is it that one?
It's yeah.
Yeah, it's that one.
It's not White Lines. Why can I not think of the damn song?
It's not Jam
But
Boy.
it's a very well known sample. Very well known sample.
Yeah, and then
Someone.
It's is that I think I came across
It's a
at the
female.
same time a female DJ that did the remix.
The blend.
Yeah, the blend.
I think so. I think
Yeah,
so.
'cause
And that's
I think I
blended.
came across her page from her posting that song, and she does
Yes, and
other
the blend
songs
is
like
with
that and other blends and all that. So
yes, with put your eyes where my put your hands where my eyes can see.
right.
By Busta
So
Rhymes.
so let me ask you then. Maybe you could help me understand it. So that comes together. She puts that blend together. Can she now, if she got, I guess she would have to get licensed, released from both artists, and then put that on an original CD or something like that? Or is she only going to
So
be able to make money off her
the way
TikTok?
we work, yeah, she's probably just making money off of TikTok. And the thing is, thank you, baby. And the thing is, a lot of people will use those blends. I prefer that blend. Put your hands where my eyes can see is one of my no players is the original track. Players is the Coil Ray track.
Right.
We're talking about the actual beat now.
Right. Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
talking about the
What she
lyrics.
used, the original
Right.
sample that she used was
The
a
original right. The original sample is Grandmaster Flash of the Furious Five. That's the original sample. The message. That's what it is. It's the message. Thank you,
yeah,
Amanda.
yeah.
It's the message. That
Yes.
is the
There you go.
original sample. And then Coil Ray used that as
No,
to
no, no,
make
no, no, no,
use
no,
that
no, no.
sample. To make
Dun, 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 dun,
right.
dun, which is another song that Diddy also
Right.
so many people have.
Oh
Choo
damn, that train
choo.
is dope. That's dope. Thank you again. Thank you so much. So then there's then that DJ I forgot her name, mixed it with again with the Busta Rhymes Put Your Hands to
Right.
My Eyes and See,
Fire.
and it just takes it to a whole nother level. It's still the same energy, but it just bounces more.
Nah, I
It
don't know.
just
I don't know if it has the same energy because with the Busta Rhymes, is
yeah.
has very
What
different.
I mean, same energy is from what Coil Ray was
Yeah, I guess it's like still
outputting.
like a playful,
Right.
swaggy. Yeah, yeah. It definitely
Right,
still has that.
right. But you got to understand, it hits harder for different generations,
Right. Yeah.
right?
That
So
tapped into
when we hear it,
right
that brings us back to, you know,
when we
high
heard the
school.
original Busta Rhymes joint.
Yeah, and you're
Yeah,
just like, and mind you, that's even a sample.
the Busta Rhymes joint. Yeah, see,
The Busta Rhymes is a sample.
it's very hard for you to listen to something now, especially now with TikTok the way it is, and like people using sound bites, like little snippets and things like that. It's very hard for you to find an original song. Period. Like this is an original song, and they're remixing songs that were already remixed
They're out
within the
there.
last 10 to 20 years. Like that song was just remixed not that long ago, and now they're remixing it in another way now. So I feel like what you do is very in line with all of that. Like that's such a big recognizable thing now. Like people could
Right.
really get behind that. I feel like you might just have to put your stamp on it a little harder to make sure that people know this is a Big Lou 2G, track. Like they need to know that
Well,
is
that's the
yours.
thing, though. That's the thing, though. I'm not making tracks. I'm
Right, but
playing.
how can you? Like how can you go back to that? Like revisit it? Like I feel like you should.
It's funny. It's funny. I'm actually cool with one of the artist relations guys in Serato. Serato is the number one program that DJs use.
Right.
It's kind of like how iPhone and Android.
Hmm.
Serato is probably like the iPhone of DJ software.
Right.
So one of their guys he just blessed me with a free subscription to the program to make my own edits and remixes and all of that.
Cool.
So that's maybe something that I may revisit.
Play around with. Let's go.
Yeah,
Next time
possibly.
I'm gonna have you back on in season 2. Like, yo, I just released an album, or I just releasing a
Yeah,
remix, and it's
maybe,
going crazy on TikTok, and
maybe.
they're going crazy. It's going viral again. Let's go.
but
Let's
for me,
go.
I just love it when I find an amazing remix that someone else did. Perfect example, perfect example, Super Bowl. Okay, everyone's waiting. Well, not everyone, but a lot of us was waiting for Rihanna to see what she was gonna do. And then all of a sudden, you hear Rude Boy. And I lost my shit because that is a remix that I have been playing for years.
That version of it.
That version. And I
Oh,
was just like, oh shit, I cannot believe we're finally hearing a real remix. And this is not, when I say a real remix, this is not one of those official remixes that the artist made. Like, this is now we're in the SoundCloud era. So where all these producers and they're finding and they're making their own amazing edits of songs that so many people love. And it's one of my favorites. So when I heard it, I just, like, literally, I had tears in my eyes. My
you
girlfriend
went
can tell you,
crazy.
she was sitting right next to me. I had tears in my eyes, literally, because that just opened the door to so much.
Yeah.
Now, there's the flip side of this. That DJ, he goes by DJ Clean. He's literally from Brazil. He made that baile funk. Baile funk is a Brazilian genre. He made that remix and put it out, like I said, years ago, and now it's being used. Of course, you have some people who try to take that as their own. So I came across
Right.
someone was using a sound on a reel, right? Someone was using a sound on a reel, and it didn't have his name on it. It had somebody else's name on it. And I said, no, that's not his. That belongs to this person. So of course, unfortunately, you have the plagiarism, but he's getting a lot of attention now. A lot of it. DJ Clean,
So
Clear.
that no,
He's
so his that style falls into the like genre of what we're talking about. Your style of like the music that you play, right? So there's already somebody at the level that's opening up doors for other DJs to be able to not fill the void, but like follow behind, right? Like that's a
I would say
path now.
so.
That's dope. Especially
Yeah, I would say so.
that's literally the biggest stage in the world, and they define it that way so much that they don't even pay the artist that play the Super Bowl because their stock, basically, we'll call it stock, goes up so much
Right.
that they don't even have to pay them. That's how much the stock goes up once
Right.
you play the Super Bowl. So that's fire.
Yeah.
So his stock went
It's
up as well. So that's
amazing.
dope. That's dope.
Amazing to see. But yeah, I
So go ahead, because I don't know if you were gonna say something, but there is something else that I wanted to kind of, I guess, know a little bit more about, right? So you have
okay.
you have this going right now. You have the TikTok thing. It's kind of like I feel like it's very steady. It's even growing. Like every time it's growing, is growing. Like the fact that you have so many, of your followers coming in, tapping in, saying what's up, like showing love, they're giving you the gifts, like that's growing. So that's good. Like you could say that if you just continue to do everything that you're doing today, that will continue to grow. But what do you see happening, or like what would you like to see happening in the next? We won't even go 5, 10 years. Let's just say 2 years, year to 2 years happening. Like what are you trying to manifest in that time?
I want to do more traveling. I want to do more gigs in different cities.
Like a traveling
So
DJ,
yeah, so far the only gig that I've had this year was in Vegas.
which is definitely out of LA. So
Right.
okay,
Right. As a matter of fact, for Memorial Day weekend, I am taking my girlfriend to Jersey in New York to the
Jersey,
tri to
let's
the
go.
tri-state, and
Make
I'm
it happen,
trying
Mr.
to
Cat.
manifest a gig out there, and I want to turn that gig, not just have it to be where I'm playing at home back home for the first time, but I would like to also make it a TikTok meetup because I have the majority of my supporters, or of the people who have really held me down, are in the East Coast.
Dope.
They are in the tri-state, and
We got to make that
I'm one
happen.
of those is that if we can be friends online, and that's all fine and well. But if I have the opportunity to change that, to take it offline, I would like to do so.
Who's coming to Jersey if
Perfect
who's
example.
coming to Jersey?
Perfect example. You know, your girlfriend Jessica, your sister Serena, even your mom. When I come home, I'm gonna make sure that I spend time with you guys because it's like, okay, we've built this rapport and we built this friendship on here. I want to take that off and say,
Right. Yeah.
okay,
That's how you
hey,
know it's real. Show me it's real.
right,
Let's get up in
right,
person and let's sit down and eat. Let's break bread or something. Show me it's real.
right.
Like that's real.
I mean, listen, there'll be some bread, some chicken, some rice, some
There's gonna be all types of.
arroz con
Trust
candule,
me. Trust
some
me.
tostones, some
They
maduro.
throw down. If it's Jessica or my mom or my sister, they throw down. So it's
I'm
going
just
down
saying, I'm ready.
for
I'm
sure.
ready.
So that's good. Like so I know that the other day you were doing a set on a different platform that wasn't TikTok. What was
Twitch.
well, yeah? So why did you? I don't know if you normally do that. Like why were you doing the Twitch the other day? Like what took
So
you over back to Twitch?
my group, Miche,
Miche.
like I said, we had the community stream yesterday,
Oh, that's what that
and
was. That was the
that's what that
community.
was.
Okay. Got it.
That's what that
Yeah, I took
was.
some screenshots of it. I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah,
It's killing it.
that's what that was. So
What
yeah,
what?
so it
So
was
so
good.
that's was that the same spot that you were in when you did the I think it was last month maybe you had the Yankee
N-
get up on
So no, that was
because that was a different background that you
that
was in that one.
yes, because that was I was streaming. So okay, so the community stream yesterday, it was a group of us. We were all together,
Okay.
right? There's ways uh, on Twitch to where let's just say for example, you and I were doing the same thing, but we were doing it on Twitch.
Okay.
To where there's a program, there's a website called StreamYard, where you as the host can broadcast and the both of us can be on, just like the same way we are right now. Where I'm actually using my visuals that I have on Twitch,
Okay.
right? So I can use that. So that time I was home. I was here, sitting here. That's what this green screen is for.
Got it.
I can put whatever I want behind me.
Oh,
If I just wanted to have
and I
your
was
head
looking
just
at and I was
flying
looking
around
at
me,
the back like yo these little sticker label looking things like at first I thought they were actually like posters on a wall. Then I realized it was green
green
screen. But
screen.
only reason why I noticed it was I think you had a logo on your shirt. I think that kind of changed when you moved, and I was like, how the hell is that happening? Then I realized, oh, there's some green screen at work here. Like okay, I see it now.
Right.
Like and I saw within like the logo, but that's the only way I really noticed that it wasn't
Yeah.
actually there on the wall. So okay.
Right.
So
So
I get it
everything
now.
is green screen.
That's dope. So
Yeah.
so that even those like broadcasts like that, what type of I guess like reach is it having a wider reach than your reach on TikTok?
Yes and no. I don't think so.
It's just
When
different.
I do those, it's just different crowds.
Yeah.
It's just different groups of people that are getting it. The one of the big things that I love so much about TikTok is when, as you know, when someone else is in one of your boxes, it shows to their friends, hey, this person you follow is on. Come see them in this live, and they
Right.
come in.
Yeah.
You know, that's how some people are
Yeah,
coming
and
into here.
and for me even like that's been one of my like one of the things that I like the most about TikTok, and for me that's how like I still call that an organic thing. Like that's very organic because it's almost like when you visit a friend, right? You go into their house, and then you're like, "Yo, what's good? What's your name?" And one of their friends or one of their peoples is over, and you meet them for the
Right,
first time. It's like, "Yo, what's good?" That's an
right,
organic that's real, right? That's an
right.
in person organic feeling. So you kind of get that same feeling, which we've had plenty of those scenarios for us where you're live or you're live with someone else and then I pop in and I'm like, oh, I'm here for Lou, but I don't know anybody else that's in here. So it's like
Right.
almost even if you're not the host, it's almost like me walking into your house and you being like, yo, these are my people. It's like, say what's up. So that natural introduction, that's like an again organic introduction, and I've made a couple connections like that, like, oh, who's this? And then I start commenting or get invited into the live, and that is definitely one of the dopest parts of TikTok for
Yeah.
sure. So
No, for
that's dope.
sure. Definitely. Definitely.
So that's basically one of my personal last questions, really, because I was very interested I don't. We've had conversations a little bit about growth and like what things that we want to do, but for me to like really see like, all right, what's happening in the next year to 2 years for Lou? Like, I did know that you were gonna travel, but I wasn't sure like what was gonna be the reach or like what was that part of like the end game for your DJ career? Like, is it like you're just gonna travel the world DJing? Like, which I think I could definitely see that for you for sure.
That's the ultimate goal for any DJ. Traveling the world, because we just want to share our love of music with the world and just have that exchange of
Choo
energy.
choo.
Oh my goodness! Thank you so much, Jess. Thank you, everyone, for all the gifts. I thank you,
Dope,
thank
dope,
you.
dope.
It really, it truly does mean a lot to me, and thank
We
you, everyone.
appreciate it all. All the support that was in here is dope today. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, so that is the main goal that I have. It's just to travel. I don't necessarily want fame, but I just want to be known enough that people want me to come play wherever. And
Yeah, I've been to a couple clubs in New York before where I'm going to see like an underground artist, and then I find out
right,
that we're paying at the door, and I say underground like people actually know, and then it's like, oh, I gotta pay at the door to see my homie. Like he said it was a free, but the DJ that was there that night is what we were paying for. Like they were like, no, but so and so's here, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, but that DJ has a crazy following. Like these underground DJs, they're like, oh no, he's here from Germany, or like this DJ came from so and so. Like they fly all around the world because the DJ has a following more than some of the artists, which
right.
to me is amazing. But I just didn't even know that that was a thing up until recently. Like when me and Jessica went to New York for something, I was like, we're paying for what? And then there was other artists in the building like hanging out and chum like, yo, this is crazy. Like
So here's a
DJs are
crazy
bigger than the
thing.
artists.
Here's a crazy thing. America is the only country in the world where DJs are not superstars.
That's
Literally.
true because a lot of the DJs that are big here, they're actually international DJs. They're not from America like that. Like the DJs are big in their little area of the country. Like New York DJs are big in New York, and LA DJs are big in LA. Like for the most part, they don't really DJ Khaled it, let's say, that often. There's not too many of them. I guess they all end up transitioning into something else. Like I know Ludo originally was a DJ. He's a actor now.
Who?
He doesn't even
Who?
Ludacris.
Yeah, he was a radio DJ,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like he was
but not
originally.
not DJ
Oh, he was just a
DJ.
whole. Oh, I always thought he was like a DJ. DJ. Like
He was a disc jockey.
okay, so he was a actual
He was an
DJ disc
actual
jockey.
regular
Okay,
radio.
got it.
Perfect
Not
example. Another one. Angie Martinez.
right.
Angie Martinez has made music. She has
Yeah,
put out 2 albums,
yeah.
but she was never a DJ,
DJ.
but a DJ.
Yeah. I don't know if you know. Peter Rosenberg. Like he's an
Yeah.
actual DJ. That dude cuts. Like he's an actual DJ. I got footage. Me and Serena used to do this we used to do like a DVD thing. Like when DVD, Smack DVD and all that was popping. Like we were part of a group that we did a DVD. We used to go interview and be in the city and all this stuff. And Rosenberg, multiple clubs, he'll be in there DJing. Like he's on the set going in, like going crazy on the set. And I'm like, yo, is that Rosenberg? And yo, Peter Rosenberg in there cutting it up. Like, matter of fact, the one that we were at, the last time that I saw him cutting, was Dame Dash's birthday party. So it was like a
No
Dame
shit.
Dash birthday party, and Rosenberg was the DJ. Like he did a set, like it wasn't his night, you know what I'm saying? But he was cutting it up. I was like, what's happening right now? Like I would be starstruck in these things and have to act like cool about it, but I'd be tapping everybody. Yo, look, yo, that's Rosenberg right there. Like and Dave Dash is in there with basketball shorts on and like shell tops. Like I'm like, yo, they in here wearing regular clothes, like just hanging out. Like and we were in there, like doing that.
Speaking of Rosenberg, there may be something that you may not be aware. So I saw him in Houston because he is a huge wrestling fanatic, as am I.
Yo, he definitely talks about that on the radio on a regular. Like he be on some like, I was just at WWE, like this and that. Like I'm like, what? This dude is a
So
fanatic.
I forgot what event it was. It was a big one. It was one of the major ones, and it was in Houston. And I'm just standing there getting something to drink, and he's standing right there just chopping it up with people. And I'm like, okay, that's dope. Because
Yeah,
like if people that know, because I mean he's shown in a lot of programming, especially like the documentaries and stuff like that, because he knows the stuff,
yeah.
and
He's definitely what they
yeah,
call like a
he
hip
knows the
hop
stuff,
historian. Yeah, yeah, he
right,
is.
right. But I'm not even talking about hip hop. I'm not even talking about music at
No,
all.
I'm
I'm
saying
talking,
just yeah. No, I'm saying in general, like he's been in like well, I should say historian because it's not just anything that he really like rocks with, like WWE or music. Like you gonna see him talking about it. Like he's gonna know the
yeah,
history of whatever it is. Like he's really into. He taps into that. Like whatever it is, he loves. He's going in.
yeah. So
So
not
that's
not
like
to not to not to take it too far away from music, but this year, the biggest event of the year in the wrestling world is WrestleMania, and it's here in LA.
oh
So they have several shows around WrestleMania weekend, and my amazing girlfriend who is here. As a birthday gift, got us tickets to go to SmackDown, which is also having the Hall of Fame, and Raw for that weekend.
give it up
So
for give it up for Claudia. Let's go.
yes. So it's going to be pretty amazing. I can't wait for that.
That's real love right there. That's real love
Yes.
when you go out and you make sure that hubby's at that event, the event. Like that's gonna be the pinnacle of WWE, SmackDown, all of that. Like everybody's gonna be there. I'm sure all
Yeah.
the Rosenberg will be in the building. That's
Definitely.
dope. That's dope.
Definitely. Yes.
That's what's up.
So yeah, I'm really
All right.
looking
So
forward to that.
before I miss anybody that may have or wants to ask or whatever you want to do, comment or anything like that, I'd like to take the last few minutes of our Tim's episode and kind of turn it over to the comments and see if anybody wants to say anything to us, say anything to the guests, Big Lou. Um, we just take a few minutes to kind of sit and pay attention more to the comments at this point. Like always, I always say this to make sure everybody understands. Like if we ignored the comments for a while, I only do that because I like to give the guests my undivided attention, and it's not to ever ignore anybody. I know my mods do a good job at interacting, so I appreciate you guys for doing that. But when I'm doing the interview, I just like to focus on the guests. But then I do open it up at the end to make sure that if anybody in the comment section wants to, ask a question or make a comment, that we're actually paying attention directly to the comments now. So we'll give a few minutes for that. And if there's anything else, Lou, that you want to plug in,
So
now would be a good
before
time to
bef,
make
bef,
sure everybody knows
before I
where they can
start
find you.
before I start plugging anything, I just want to say first of all to everyone that is here, I appreciate you sharing your time with us. I appreciate your presence and just wanting to hear my story. Thank you to you, Zeus, for having me on,
I
and
appreciate it,
even
man.
making it a special edition on a Monday.
Special edition on Monday, Tim's
You
Monday.
know, right? So yes, as I've been mentioning before, I'm a part of Miche. You can follow us here on TikTok and on IG as well at Miche Sound, MISCESOUND. I do a Latin-based remix set every month on our SoundCloud called Michente. That is the biggest thing that I do once a month, and it's just me. I normally record them live on TikTok, so you may want to hit that follow if you don't already do so. Every Thursday
And hit the
night,
bell. Make sure y'all hit the bell so you know when he's going live, so you get that
yes,
notification. That's big.
yes, yes. Every Thursday night, I go live. I do what we call Club the Spot, Club Vibes every week,
Yeah.
every week,
You don't
and
even
it's
gotta leave
just
you don't gotta leave the comfort of your own home.
nope. And you can come dressed whatever way you like. You don't have to be dressed up. I of course, the most important thing is I like having people in my boxes, just having a good time. It is at 11 o'clock at night on the East Coast, 8 p.m. on the West.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're in the two other time zones, you guys can kind of figure it out,
You'll figure it
the
out.
time wise. But yes, also I am on Instagram as well. Same name, DJ Big Lou 2G. Please follow
What's
me
the
on
two G
there.
stand for? What's the two G mean?
Okay,
That was a question.
so
Now that I think about it, I did want to ask that just because. What does the two G stand for?
so it's not quite a funny story, but I've been Big Lou 2G since '98.
So
So
even before,
as we know, Big Lou, because I'm big and I'm Lou, and as we know, 1,000, another word for 1,000 is a grand. I
okay,
graduated the year 2000. 1 grand, 2 grand, 2,000, 2 grand, 2G.
wow, okay,
Yeah,
that we're getting all the answers today, and this is why we do this. Tim's Tuesday or Tim's Monday was started with the hopes that we could just get the backstory and learn different stories from different people, with the hopes that
right.
by sharing our stories, we get to learn a little bit about somebody, but not just that. We find out that we're not the only ones going through the things that we're going through. There are other people that are going through the same trials and tribulations, the same hurdles. You know, they're fighting the same battles that we're fighting, and that is the point of all of this. So, what I always do at the end here is, Lou, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Everything that we've done off of this, and on TikTok. I appreciate the time that you've put in to share your gift, your passion with us, with the world at this point. So please continue to do what you do. Please continue to express yourself through music, because it is definitely one of the highest forms of expression that you could have. So please keep doing that. Thank you for taking the time, and as always, time is the one commodity we cannot get back. So I appreciate you taking the time and doing this with me. You could have been anywhere else, but you're here with me today, so I appreciate you, man. Everybody else that
Thank
stopped
you.
in, showed love, that are, maybe you came as one of my followers or you came as loose followers. I really appreciate you, especially if you're a loose follower, and that you did hit the follow button as well. So I really appreciate that. All the gifters, thank you guys again. Other than that, this is the end of the episode. Lou, again, man, thank you so much. Everybody else, don't forget, I got my link tree where you could catch this whole episode tomorrow. It'll be uploaded onto my YouTube, so don't forget to check out the YouTube. If you missed any part of this, you can watch it back tomorrow on YouTube. My Amazon wish list is up there. My Instagram is up there, so tap in. Stay tuned, man. I got a couple more episodes for this season. This is episode 7 of Tim's Special Edition Monday. Lou, appreciate you, man. Thank you, everybody. Peace and good night. Love y'all.